Welcome to Tomorrow's World Today, a show dedicated to the discovery of innovation and cutting-edge technology to be featured in the Park of the Future. The park includes 4 worlds. The worlds are inspiration, creation, innovation, and production. Each one will showcase the latest developments from the greatest companies and smartest people in the world. This is Inventionland World Headquarters. Here now is George Davison.
So tomorrow, I'm starting to think about clothing for the park.
Ooh, uniforms.
Yeah, uniforms for everybody in the park, but also our guests.
Absolutely.
So that's gonna mean we have to explore cotton technology.
I didn't know there was technology involved in cotton.
There sure is. I'd like to show you something.
You always have something up your sleeve.
Well, you know, there's plenty to see back here.
All right, let's go take a look. George, this waterfall is one of my favorite things about the work environment here at Inventionland. But what does it have to do with my upcoming trip to Honduras?
Well, there's a company that has this really neat technology. The processed cotton and textile materials and not only recycle water, but naturally clean it. But you're not gonna start in Honduras. We're gonna backtrack right into North Carolina. And then I'd like you to follow it all the way through the manufacturing process.
So we're gonna go from field all the way to t-shirt. Maybe I can source out one of those t-shirts that says, I sent my employee to Honduras and all she brought me back was the stinking t-shirt.
All right, that's a deal.
George, when you told me you were sending me on my next discovery trip to North Carolina, I was kind of picturing, say, a shopping trip in Charlotte or hanging out in the Research Triangle. But it makes sense. Cotton is the first step when we talk about the process of going from field to fashion. Cotton is one of America's oldest crops, but today they're combining agriculture with new technology to become more sustainable and efficient. I'm gonna go take a ride on a cotton picker with my new friend Barrett, whose family has been farming here in North Carolina for generations. So this is your office.
Yep, this is my office.
Tell me a little bit about the GPS technology and how it has changed your farming process.
We're using the technology from the very beginning to soil sampling, and then we determine our fertilizer needs. And so we're able to spread fertilizer on fields where they need it, and then that spreader will cut off where it doesn't need any fertilizer. We take our yield data off of our harvesters, and that allows us to write planting prescriptions.
So it actually literally can pinpoint where and
Yep.
how much you should plant so
Absolutely.
that your yield is more efficient.
Absolutely.
So we've done 3 rows, and I'm seeing a lot of cotton. Are we almost full?
We're getting really, really close. Push this button right here.
Uh-huh.
All right, and watch it go down on the ground. Each one of those bales has a tag on it. Every time a round bale is spit out, this machine knows exactly what number that was, and so it keeps track, and then that's also used at the gin as well.
If I'm understanding correctly, these round bales actually use RFID technology.
That's right.
Thank you so much for showing me the process and let me ride along with you.
You're very welcome. Very welcome.
I'm here at the Rolling Mills Gin with Wes. What is the first step in ginning my cotton? Am I even saying that right?
Yes, you are. Yes,
Okay.
you are. The first step is we actually weigh all of them when they come in, and we bring it in here. We log it in the computer with all the weights, what farm you're at, what field, so we know exactly where your round came from. And we're gonna chew it up and throw it on a conveyor belt so we can bring it into our plant. We check the moisture as soon as it comes off of that belt. We suck it up with a 100 horsepower hot air vacuum cleaner. We're gonna run it through a dryer. Then our main process is we're gonna take the seeds out. This is one of our saw blades, and what happens is the cotton falls onto here as the saw's turning. The saw actually grabs the cotton. It does not cut your cotton and pulls it through this narrow little opening. As the seed is too big to fit through this crack, it slams into here and stops. The cotton keeps going. We're pulling the hair off of the seed, more or less, which is cotton.
My round module of cotton is pretty big. How much cotton will I yield, and how much of it is seeds and other trash?
We're gonna weigh it when it comes in, but probably around 5,000 pounds. So we're gonna gin that out, and my guess is we're gonna get about 4 bales of cotton, which is about 2,000 pounds. Now, out of that 2,000 pounds of cotton, we probably have maybe 2,500 pounds of seed. So you're actually bringing me more seed than you are anything. But we have a place for those to go to. Everything you bring us has a place. The yellow wrap, we bale that up into an 800-pound bale, and it gets recycled. And then the trash, we actually sell that to farmers. They use it for bedding and feed and stuff as well. The seeds, they're gonna make cows happy, you know, high energy protein. Then the cotton, that's gonna go hopefully to t-shirts or something like that.
So it's really an incredibly sustainable process.
Yes, we use every single thing.
Next step would be?
The next thing it's gonna do is it's gonna end up at a yarn mill. And since your cotton was Gildan grade, maybe you need to go find a Gildan yarn mill and see if you can follow your bale.
To the yarn mill. I am happy to report that my bales have made it to the Gildan yarn mill in Salisbury, North Carolina. See, I knew they would be good enough. And I'm here with Don, who's gonna give me a little bit about what's happening next with them.
Our cotton arrives here, and we take and categorize it based on the characteristics of what we have. And then we place it into a recipe, prep the bales in a laydown. We will put your 4 bales with 88 more, and we'll get ready to consume them on the other side of this wall in the opening department.
So now you're in the opening room of the plant. We actually have the bales being brought out from the warehouse. We have top feeders that remove cotton from the bale. We're going to further remove pepper trash, motes, stems, dirt. So it goes through the card, and we begin aligning fibers and making a strand of yarn. It's like a rope. We take the strand and we begin twisting and aligning, and we make yarn. The yarn is wound onto a cone. From there, it goes to the shipping area.
What happens next?
Your yarn is going to Honduras.
George, I'm going to need an airplane ticket. I'm here at Gildan's Rio Nancy complex in Honduras, and this place is massive. Inside here, there are 2 sock factories, 4 textile factories, a distribution unit, a chemical mixing plant, corporate offices, an innovation center, a biomass unit, and an all-natural wastewater treatment system. Now, you guys know I've been pretty diligent about following my cotton from start to finish, but with 27 million square feet of complex to explore, I think we still have quite a ways to go.
Hi, Tamara. I'm Gary.
Hey, Gary, so nice to meet you.
Well, welcome to Honduras and welcome to our Rio Nancy complex. We're an example of true vertical integration. We start all the way from after the cotton's been picked from the field and take it in our own factories all the way through to the end finished garments. This is a first in Gildan's history for somebody to come and follow their cotton through the process.
Well, speaking of my cotton, I'm very excited to see what you guys are going to turn it into.
Well, Tamara, here's our first stop.
Wait, hold on a second. You've already processed my cotton?
Don't panic. None of these products are made with your cotton. I just wanted to show you all the things it could be made into. Gildan's invested over $1 billion since 2012 in sustainable technologies, solutions that help the environment, product efficiencies, and manufacturing technologies. Tamara's going to meet some very, very skilled, passionate people who are behind the success of our company. Anybody can buy equipment, but it's our people that make the difference.
Meet Diana. Hi, nice to meet you. At the Innovation Center is where everything begins regarding the development of all the new products that we are doing here at Gildan. We start by making patterns, we create the methods for all the operations, and make sure we have everything ready to start production. We are always looking for the latest technology. We are now having machines that can automatically change depending on the fabric. The operator can be more concentrated on doing its operation with quality and with the most efficient time possible.
Tamara, I just got a text. Franklin tells me that your cotton's just arriving.
Hi, Tamara, how are you? Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
You're right on time. The cotton that you picked has arrived as yarn. Tamara was very excited when she saw that the cotton she picked in the US came here as yarn, and she got to hold that yarn and put it into the machine so it could be produced into fabric. Once we receive the yarn, it takes approximately 7 to 8 hours to produce roughly 220 to 250 kilograms of fabric.
So now we've got fabric. What's the next step in the process?
Applying color to the fabric. Color Service is our automatic dispensing system. What it does is dispenses the dyes and chemicals that are required in our dyeing process. Therefore, we eliminate error and we are more efficient because the dyes get into the machine at the exact time and the exact amount that we require it. After the fabric is dyed, we put it into this machine which we call extraction pass. So you might ask, why is this turning? The fabric comes out of the jet in the form of a rope. So what we're doing here is we're de-twisting that rope.
So it's kind of like in my washing machine when the socks come out all twisty.
Exactly the same. The fabric coming out of the dyeing jet is completely wet. So what we do here is that we have 2 sets of rolls extracting all that water off of the fabric.
This is a very water-intensive process, and I, of course, am very concerned about sustainability and water reclamation.
The hot water that we rinse, we reutilize it to maximize our efficiency in our machines. This water we cannot use because it already has a colorant in it, but we put it into our water treatment lagoons, and then we dispose of it totally clean.
Interesting. That sounds fascinating. I can't wait to get a tighter look at how that works.
Now we can go to the next process, which is the drying of the fabric. So this is basically a huge dryer, okay? Basically, it's just the fabric being dried with steam. Just to give you a number, we will dry the equivalent of 5,000 t-shirts in 25 minutes. The super insulation, mainly in our dryers, helps us to keep all the heat inside the machine, therefore maximizing the efficiency and the usage of the steam that comes from our biomass plant. This is the final process where we cut our fabric into the cut parts that we send to our sewing facility. So the machine is feeding the fabric into this big presser. So it's basically like a cookie cutter. This big presser is just clamping down on the fabric and cutting t-shirts 10 items at a time. Once the machine is cut, it moves it into this laying table, and by gravity, the laying table just slides, and by gravity, the fabric falls one on top of the other. This is what comes out of the machine.
This one might be a little bit big for me. This might be the one that I bring back from my boss. Like that, right?
There's your t-shirt. Now it's ready to be sent to sewing, where they assemble it, and it's ready to be shipped.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. My pleasure.
Okay, Tamara, let me introduce you, Ellie Pina.
Hi.
She's the creator of this beauty, a water treatment facility that we have in Rio Nance.
So tell me a little bit about what exactly I'm looking at here.
This is a system of combination with lagoons and wetlands that is called biotop. And it treats the residual water, the wastewater from all the factories from Gildan. And what we have here is the end discharge of the water already treated.
Tell me about the process of how it's treated.
We begin with a water that has to get a pH that is compatible with life. The water that comes in has to be biogenically treated with bacteria to keep clean the water. In the end of the system, we have already fish in the water. That means we have water that comes to the environment already clean and prepared to be part of the ecosystem. In this industry that needs water to work, it complies with all the norms of Honduras.
And that's all because of gravity, bacteria, and sunlight.
Sunlight.
Yes.
It's
So that
green.
you see, yes, it has a greenish, yellowish color. That is from nature. The algae gives the oxygen, and the bacteria uses it.
Dye stuff in the process is gone because it was eaten by the bacteria.
It doesn't resemble anything, the water that comes in
What does the water
In the
look
room.
like when it first comes in?
black.
But I don't see any evidence of the black dye in that water. I would not imagine that that was the water that the dye from my t-shirt would have gone into.
No, not at all. This is an area of so peaceful and beautiful, knowing that the water that comes in is being treated, then discharged to the environment without any problem, without any hazard for the environment. It's like watching a son growing and behaving and then doing what you have told them to do. That's not every parent can say that.
I've heard a lot about the biomass unit. What exactly is biomass?
Biomass means a solid fuel that is coming from the nature. We take agro-industrial byproducts. After they extract the oils out of the African palm, we take the rockies, the leftovers, mix it together with some wood chips, and then we convert it into steam. The steam is needed in the textile industry to do the dyeing process, to do the colors, the bleaching of the fabric, and then to dry the fabric afterwards. So we use steam to heat up water. As a by-side, we use also this steam to produce cold water for our air conditioning systems.
So something that would normally be a waste product, you're actually taking, repurposing, and then using to generate steam to help generate electricity.
And it's considered in the whole greenhouse gas effect as a neutral process and replaces the use of fossil fuels. Last year, we tracked a savings of around 12 million gallons of fossil fuel. That would be the equivalent to taking out 32,000 cars out of the roads.
That's a nice equivalent. I like hearing that.
That's the sweet smell of success, environment, clean, and also savings.
Hi, how are you? Welcome.
Hi, thanks. You must be Wilton.
I am.
Thank you so much for taking some time to show me around.
Pleasure. The San Antonio facility produces t-shirts, underwear. It's now starting to produce a little fleece. It's a very large plant with about 3,700 operators. Very good quality, very good efficiencies. Excellent plant.
Well, I'm really excited to see this next stage of the journey for my cotton. I've been following it all the way from the fields of North Carolina to Honduras. I also hear that you have a moon rock for me here.
That's right. It's waiting for you right through those doors. What is a moon rock? It's not a rock, okay, to begin with. It's just the way we ship our product from one plant to another. So we have everything that we need to make a t-shirt right in this package.
So after the moon rock gets open, what's the next step in the process? Can you walk me through?
Well, of course. So this is our first operation here, and essentially she's printing a label, putting on all the information on the garment. So what's next is we're doing the bottom hem, sewing the raw edge of the bottom hem of the garment.
And he just feeds it in and it goes straight? You don't need to guide it or anything?
Well, he's got a lot of experience. He knows how it feels, and he kind of does it with his eyes closed. He's been doing this for a while, and he knows what he's doing. So these ladies here, they're making sure that our t-shirts are in tip-top shape. We also make sure that everything is seamed correctly, the sewing is done right, that there's no missing operations, and that it looks good.
And do you have someone inspecting every single t-shirt or just kind of sampling them?
No, she's inspecting every single t-shirt.
Oh, wow.
She's inspecting it front and back, making sure there's no defects. She just caught a defect right there, and she just set it apart over there in that little hanger.
Interesting.
We have a lot of automation in our facilities. However, people we have here in our plants are highly skilled. At this point in time, there hasn't been a machine that can replicate the level of quality and skill that our operators are able to do. We have the best people doing our products.
All of our employees are very skilled at what they do, and it's a big part of our success. We invest a lot in training, and last year we did almost 1 million hours of training, and we did 100,000 hours worth of employee health and safety. 3 times a day, we do exercises in the workplace, so we go through a very structured routine so that all employees will stand up and stretch and do the exercises.
We provide free clinics, we provide subsidized meals, free transportation, and different incentives that make them to stay with the company. Happy employees are the most productive employees.
This discovery mission has taken me on a long trip, but now I'm in search of one more thing, socks. And I was told Israel might be able to help me locate some. Now my question is, what happens to that one sock that always gets lost in the dryer? Where can I find it?
That's an industry secret, but I can help you and explain how we track all these millions of socks throughout the factory through our controlling system.
All right, we'll start there.
Okay.
But I'm gonna get this by the end of our time here.
The command center is where you can see the entire factory floor. We're able to track at any given moment, at any area of the facility, where our socks at and where they're heading towards. So we have 5,000 socks in each one of those bags. So if you multiply that, it's over 5 million socks that we have at any given time in our process. I'm especially proud of working for the company that strives every day to try to find ways to make apparel better. Technology investment has been key in our success. The investments that we've done in the past 15 years, in excess of $1 billion, have allowed us to make our processes more efficient, more eco-friendly, and a lot more sustainable. As a vertically integrated company, we make sure that the cotton that Tamara picked in North Carolina makes its way throughout the entire manufacturing process and becomes a sock at the end. So we have a small surprise for you. We actually knit a TWT sock for you.
Oh my gosh, it's an actual Tomorrow's World Today sock. I love this, thank you so much. I have to say, after learning so much about all of this from you, I feel like I've got a real toehold on the industry.
Thank you, it was a pleasure having you here with us.
Thanks again.
Welcome back, Tamara.
Thanks, George. It's good to be back.
Well, Did you find what we were looking for?
Yeah, you know, I found a lot of interesting things going on. First of all, they're using GPS technology in the cotton field so that just the right amount of water and fertilizer gets delivered to the cotton plants. And that cuts down on water usage, and it also cuts down on excess fertilizer runoff, which is traditionally a big pollution problem. Another cool thing, in Honduras, they use these giant lagoons to process the water, huge amounts that are necessary for the manufacturing process of cloth and garments. Also down there, they have a really interesting biomass system to power everything.
Wow, that sounds great. So we've done our homework to make sure that our guests are getting the best sustainable practices when they buy merchandise from us.
Yeah, you know, I'm really glad I was able to kind of do a deep dive into the whole process just to get a better understanding of the whole thing. I mean, I literally followed the cotton that I picked in the field in North Carolina through the whole process, all the way from ginning to grading to the high-tech manufacture of thread, which was then shipped to Honduras, where it was turned into everyday clothing that we wear, such as this little gift, which I brought back for you.
Really?
Yeah, well, you know, I don't want to come back empty-handed. I did make a promise to bring you back a little something, so I had them design this special t-shirt just for you.
Hey, thank you, Tamara. Well, thanks for buying me a t-shirt.
I didn't buy that t-shirt for you. I was intricately involved in the entire manufacturing of that t-shirt.
So our goal of a sustainable clothing supplier is attainable?
Mission accomplished.
Right.